the beginning of my career was just, I never even had aspirations to be Mr. Olympia when I started. I just loved to train, loved to bodybuild. And then once I started to get that pressure on me, that started to fade a bit because I was taking in so much outside noise, and I stopped doing it for the right reasons of why I started, and just the fact that I love it and I enjoy pushing my body to the limits. So that affected me for a bit. But even like my first ever Olympia win, because of other stuff I had gone through, I actually didn't even really enjoy it because of like stress of my health and pressure. Something I had gone through the year before, all this not being present and suppressing all my like fears I had around it. I just like battled through it, got there, and I was like, it's over. I just won an Olympia. This is this goal I've been chasing for 6-7 years specifically in the league. I have it, and now why do I feel like I'm missing something? And I think I kind of uncovered that I was suppressing all this pressure, all this fear of my health, all these other aspects, and in doing so I was also suppressing my ability to feel joy and excitement and the positive side of things. You always hear you can't like selectively numb emotions, or pretty much numb everything, or you feel all of it. And I was definitely a numbing kind of guy. I was like, fuck it, don't feel it, push it aside, compartmentalize and get to work. And I was just like, okay, no, this isn't right. Something's got to change. And those 2 years, came second the year before I got sick, won that Olympian, didn't enjoy it. This was like, all right, physical stuff is down, I won. I got to focus on my mental side right now because if I'm doing this, I want to love it. I started because I love it, and I want to keep doing it because I love it. There's this awesome quote by, I think, Jim Carrey, and it goes, I wish for the world to realize all of their dreams so that they can realize they don't make them complete. And he's talking about that most people's dreams are very like external, like champions. They want to win a medal, they want to win a trophy, they want a nice car and all this stuff. Then you get it. And when you have everything, you realize this isn't what I wanted. I don't feel complete right now. And I have the amazing opportunity in my life to have accomplished so many of my dreams and realize that there's still a void missing there. So the more money I get, the more titles I get, the more I get, it's not filling me up more. But then I discovered that over time, it's the effort, it's the journey. It's like suffering through times that I don't want to be at the gym or why I want to quit on my diet, and I push myself. And every single moment, every day leading up to the show, and I win all those moments, that's like winning in life continuously every day. And through that journey, being able to build my relationships, not sacrifice them for winning, be able to make myself a better person, not a more stressed out, anxious person, all that stuff coming together, I've already won before I have a trophy in my hands. When I stand on stage, I haven't quit on a workout. I haven't quit on a cardio session. My girlfriend still loves me in the background. She doesn't hate me for neglecting her for the last 3 months of prep. I won. You know, like I feel fucking good right now. And if I lose, am I going to leave and be really sad and like cry and grieve that loss? Absolutely. But I'm still going to be proud of everything I put in. And at the end of the day, that's all I can control. And to me, that's winning.
What is your advice to someone that is struggling with the pressure of success? Perhaps, you know, for a long time, they've been thinking that they want to get to a place, then they set a standard, and now they realize this pain of having to meet that standard again. Mm-hmm. How have you managed to balance these two worlds, the desire to continue to be better and also the requirement to be able to be grateful and enjoy the present moment?
I think on one aspect, and something that is very strange, I think, for people to hear, because a lot of champions we hear are just like killer mentality, win at all costs. I think on one aspect, I've accepted that I'd be okay with losing. I accepted that if I lost, like I said, I would grieve, I would be sad, it would suck, but like life would go on, I would be okay. And the Olympia is a huge part of my life, but it's not everything part of my life. So kind of giving myself permission to fail, in essence, almost give myself permission to try harder. And maybe it's not like that for everybody, but for myself, as soon as I was like, okay, if this happens and I lose, what then? I either quit and leave and move on with my life, or I come back and I try harder and that motivates me for more. But either way, I'm still me. I still have who I am as a person that I'll always control. I have my relationships, the people I love around me, and a lot of beautiful stuff going on in my life. So like, I'm going to be okay. And that really just kind of alleviated a lot of pressure and gave me permission to perform even more. A lot of people are afraid to even try hard because then if you try hard and you fail, you feel like a failure. But the aspect of being a failure doesn't come from the success in the end. It comes from if you really quit on yourself, or if you don't put in the effort you can put in and you're kind of holding back on your true potential. That's when I think you really deep down feel like a failure.
What's your inner voice like now?
The way I spoke about my inner voice and this expectation of myself with where I wasn't free, and then life put me in this position of millions of people with this idolized perception of someone they look up to as calm, cool, collected, has his shit together. C-Bum, he's so good, he's up there. And I was like, I really have to be that now. Like, I better be fucking perfect now. My dad was like that growing up too, so I had this like, okay, men are stoic and they don't feel anything and they weather the storm and they're good. And I was like a very sentient being, like emotional. And I was like, fuck. So I kind of denied that part of myself for a while. But now being able to just integrate that and accepting it is who I am and being able to show it more and allow it to come up more in situations. I almost try and twist some conversations, allow myself to be like, I'm not perfect, I have anxiety, just to like show that it's there, and then being like, well, now this facade's kind of gone. The presentation isn't to be what people want me to be, it's just to be myself, and whatever happens after that can fuck off. So I guess overall the inner voice in myself I'm building is just more compassion and empathy.
I did this workout, high intensity interval workout thing on an assault bike, and this guy that was coaching me at the time asked me to try and remember where my mind went to when my heart got into zone 5.
Yeah.
So whatever, like 160, 170 BPM and above. And the voice, this is probably 6 or 7 years ago. And the voice that came back was fucking awful.
Yeah.
It was so just, this sucks, you're not good enough, panic, tightness, and terror. And I did a workout again a couple of months ago. Actually, no, it was 2 weeks ago with Tim Kennedy. You know, Tim, UFC guy.
No,
he's like a professional bad guy, but he works for the US government. Okay. Anyway, I did this workout with him and my heart rate must have got to that same place. And it's the first time I've done it since then. And the words that came back to me were so different. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God, I genuinely thought that was the physics of my own inner experience. Like that these were just these are just the unchanging dynamics. These are the laws of the inside of
Did
Chris
you find
Williamson.
over time you had done like, you had to work on it and put in reps and like understand, or was it just purely your physical abilities and success and the world telling you you're good and the podcast succeeding, all this shit? Was it that, or was it more personal reflection and empathy?
So,
or both?
I think both. I would love to be able to say, you know, just 1,500 sessions of meditation and a couple of good psilocybin trips, and that was me sorted. But it would be a lie to say that the world telling you, or you proving to the world and the world saying back, answering back that yes, you are good enough. I think it's unrealistic to have confidence when you don't have an undeniable stack of proof that you are who you say you are. Like if the only place that your confidence exists is in your mind and you've never manifested it into reality, then what you're asking for isn't confidence, it's delusion. Because how can you say that you are all of these things? I'm a really great husband. I feel like a great husband, but I go out and cheat on my wife every night. Well, there's an incongruence here. But you can behave in the way of being a great husband and not believe it yourself because you have unhealed traumas from the past and stuff like that. So it's definitely both. But yeah, it's just really important, I think, for people to hear that the answer to the holes and the voids that you feel inside of yourself, if the guy that's won Mr. Olympia 4 times in a row is telling you that the inner work is an important part of that process, and that upon winning the first one, the main sensation was relief, not happiness. Where do you think that you're going to get this from if you're seeking outside of yourself validation to fix something that's inside?
Life's gonna get suck, but the more you focus your perception on it, the way you see the world is what the world is. If I choose to be like, today sucks, I'm tired, I don't want to do cardio, I'm fucking 2 weeks out eating 1,500 calories, this sucks. If that's what I'm talking about, that's all I'm gonna live in. I'm gonna be like, bodybuilding sucks, prep sucks, why do I do this? But if I'm like, this suffering is literally what's going to make me great, and it's going to bring me that amazing moment on stage and all these memories of everything, and this, like, it's pushing me to these limits that I know make me feel proud of myself and all these things. If I focus more on the positive side of things, I'm going to enjoy the reality regardless of the change. The circumstances can be the exact same, but your perception changes everything about how you feel about it. And I think a lot of people who are successful or who are bodybuilders usually kind of tap out because they make it seem like this miserable thing. Like, oh, fuck, I have to start dieting. Oh, I got to do cardio. And then you're just complaining about it. And why would you want to do anything you complain about every day? Rather than understanding that it's the choice and the beautiful things that come from it are what you should be focusing on, and it leads to more progressive growth.
Well, I mean, think about any champion that you imagine in your mind. Do they complain? Is a champion the person that complains?
Yeah, no.
There's a guy called Josh Waitzkin. He was the guy that the film Seeking Bobby Fischer was written about. So he was a chess prodigy at a young age, and he decided to just abscond chess. He was seen as the new American phenom, right? A wonder kid, absolute beast as a child. And he gets basically to the top of the game of chess and then decides to leave. He goes into Chinese push hands. It's like fighting Tai Chi. Gets to the top of that sport and then exits again. Like, you can't contact him on the internet. He doesn't have a website, but this guy's a savant. And he did an episode with Tim Ferriss, and he was talking to Tim about the way that him and his son reframed the weather. And he was saying that A lot of parents will say to their son or daughter, we can't go outside to play today because it's raining. Isn't it a shame that we can't go outside to play because it's raining? Which puts all of the power outside.
Into the weather, yeah.
Correct. All of the power is outside. So him and his son have worked very hard on saying things like, what a beautiful day. It's raining outside. We should go outside and play in the rain.
Yeah.
And I think that there's so much wonderful insight in that reframe that he's giving.